Greetings everyone. I hope you are fine. I hope you are doing well. I'm Xolani Moloi, and I would appreciate if you can just smash that subscribe button, smash that like button like never before. Judge Hlophe on why uMkhonto WeSizwe was formed and its vision.
First and foremost, I'm grateful on behalf of the entire leadership of the MK party. I am grateful to President Zuma, whose idea it was that the MK party must be started in the first place. The MK party was founded because the ANC, in our shared views, a collective view which we share as the MK party, has completely gone astray. This is not the ANC that we used to know, particularly over the past 5 years under the leadership of Cyril Ramaphosa. This is no longer the ANC which fights for poor people, which fights for landless people. It is a different ANC altogether. And I'm grateful to the leadership of the MK for showing confidence in me, for getting me to lead the party. Of course, I'm new here. There are colleagues within the party who were ministers before. Some of them have been around for a while. It is my hope that they will continue to be a source of inspiration to me. It is my hope that they will assist me. And I also know some of the colleagues, such as Julius Malema. He has already offered to assist us in Parliament.
ANC has gone astray. These are not my words. These are the words of Judge Hlophe here. But there's something that I would like to talk about. I would like to talk about history before the formation of ANC, during colonialism. So during colonialism, African villages or African places or Africans, most of them were still under the leadership of kings. But because of these people who came from other countries or in European countries, then now they were cheated of their own land. So they had to fight. And that fight was not easy. It was not easy for them to fight for their land at that time. We have people who saw all these things, who saw all these injustices. And then they were like, what can we do in order to bring back the land? What can we do to fight against these people? Then they decided to form a political party by the name of ANC. That is why it was called South African Native National Congress. And again, Jacob Zuma, during his campaigns, he spoke about all these things. So this was the mindset of the kings to say, you know what, in order for us to get the land, we have to be like these people and form a political party. Then ANC was formed. In other words, from 1912 to 1994, the mission of ANC was to bring back the land to the kings. Let me just make an example so that you can understand what I'm talking about. When your father gives you certain instructions to say, you need to do 1, 2, 3 for me, and you decide not to do that, then in the common sense or in our culture, that's when we say you have betrayed your own father because you didn't do the things that your father sent you to do. This is what ANC did, because from 1912 to 1994, ANC was effective. But after they had become victorious, they were supposed to go back to the kings to say, you know what? Now we have achieved, or we have gotten what you sent us for. But ANC didn't do that. That is why we need to talk about these issues, because right now, when we talk about the issue of land, it's like we are being radical. It's like we hate other people. It's like we are against other people. It's like we're not good at all. Why? is because this history is not taught to the people. ANC was sent by kings and many other people, or the people of South Africa, to say, go and fight on our behalf. Because it's like, this is the only system we can use to fight for all of us. That is why ANC was banned. That is why people were prohibited from voting. People were prohibited from voting. Why? Because they knew very well that based on the numbers, we were going to defeat them. They knew that. That is why they came up with this strategy to say, you know what? Black people should not be allowed to do what? To vote. But in 1994, they got a privilege for the first time to vote. Then most definitely, African National Congress won. But instead of going back to the kings, they did not do that. That is why I always say 1994 was compromised. I know there are people who disagree with me because there are people with different perspectives. Their focus is on service delivery, good roads, infrastructure. They are focusing on all those things. But my perspective is different. There are things that I prioritize over job, over service delivery, and other things. Not because those things are not important, because I believe that without the foundation, those things can't be achieved effectively. So what I like about MK, their focus right now as we speak is on that particular direction.
Ourselves, the MK party, as the official opposition in the country, because the opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, is now part of the government of national unity. So we consider ourselves as the official opposition in this country, and we are going to work very closely with other progressive parties in the opposition. I have in mind the EFF, I have in mind the ATM, and other progressive parties. We stand for the issue of land in this country, and we're not apologetic about it. We want each and every South African, black or white, to have access to land. Land in this country, we all know the history of land. We know how it was acquired. There is a historical context to it. We are not apologetic. We are also not apologetic in our call for the law to be Africanized. By that we mean we bring back the laws that used to govern the African people.
They are not going to become an official political party only, but they are also going to work with other progressive political parties. Because right now, as we speak, we have GNU. And GNU has a strength. So in order for progressive political parties to have a strength, they must have more support. They have to gain more support. Because right now, as we speak, we have GNU. And most of those people in GNU, they love each other. They understand each other. Even though there are disagreements, we understand that every family has disagreements. Every family has problems there and there. Even though we have other people who are fighting within this GNU, but at the end of the day, they have similar policies. Most of them, they agree to each other and they love each other. They have a common vision because their priority is service delivery. Their priority is RDP houses and all those things. That's their priority. But now, the progressive political parties are focusing on complete freedom. In other words, there's no complete freedom without laying the foundation. You need to lay the foundation first. Now, that is why Judge Hlophe is like, they are not apologetic about the land or about dealing with this issue of land. And again, the other thing that I like about MK is to bring back those cultural values, or African cultural values or African cultural laws that used to govern Africa. Those laws are very important because they can deal with many problems that we are currently facing right now. Because South Africa has the problem of high crime, gender-based violence. So all those things can be easily solved or dealt with using African principles, African cultural values, African cultural laws that used to govern Africa back then. Because during those times, there were no gender-based violence and all these other things, especially when it comes to criminality. So African laws are good when it comes to dealing or handling criminality very well. And this is what I like, because it doesn't make sense that we should have all these Roman laws, Dutch laws, and all these different kinds of laws, and then never have an African law.
The land in Africa can never be the subject of private ownership. The land belongs to the nation. It belongs to the nation. It doesn't form part of private ownership.
Even during the times of the kings, land used to belong to the people, being governed by the kings or under the leadership of the kings, but it belonged to the people. So there's no way a land can belong to a certain group of people according to African laws, because right now, as we speak, 80% of the land doesn't belong to the owners of the land, which are Africans. This is the truth. This is a reality. But there are people who feel like this doesn't resonate with them very well, because sometimes if you've been oppressed for a long time, you might think this is useless. You might think these people are greedy because other people have their own mindset. Other people are like, Jacob Zuma is corrupt. Okay, we understand, we respect those perspectives, but it doesn't change the truth. It doesn't change the truth that ANC has gone astray, not in 2019, but in 1994. Why? Because in 1994, they were supposed to come back and say, you sent us. Now we are victorious. But this is just a simple indication that even in 1994, they were not victorious. This is what I wanted to say. MK is a political party that I see that it can deliver. They can deliver only if they can focus on the people, only if they can focus on giving services to the people instead of focusing on themselves. Because when two elephants fight against each other, what suffers is the grass. I would appreciate if you can smash that subscribe button, smash that like button like never before.